Today I'm going to talk to you about the city's 1 cent sales tax because this year the city will be talking about renewing the 1 cent sales tax as it expires in October of 2024. So as a consequence of that, the city will be looking at putting a sales tax on the ballot in November this year to continue the sales tax so that there is no expiration period. So first, let's overview the current 1 cent sales tax. As I've written down here on this whiteboard, the 1 cent sales tax is divided into several components that the city has allocated as priorities. So the first element is $1.65 million that goes to property tax reduction. This basically is the equivalent of about 17.5 mills and helps keep the mill levy down so that we can provide quality public services without a significantly high property tax. The second component of this is $600,000, which goes to street maintenance. Now, of this $600,000, the first $500,000 goes to the city's annual mill and overlay program, and then the next $100,000 goes to minor street maintenance, which would be things like crack sealing, pothole patching, and small patches as well. And then the third piece of this is $100,000 per year goes to economic development efforts, and these funds are allocated on a case-by-case basis depending on various economic development projects that may come up. So, for example, we've used these for sales tax reimbursements for car dealerships. We've used them to help pay for public infrastructure to accommodate development. We've also provided them as assistance dollars for businesses. So there's a whole host of things that we've used them for, but nonetheless, $100,000 per year for economic development uses. Now, anything above $2.35 million, which are all of these three things added up, goes to our excess sales tax program. Now, that excess sales tax program allows the city to allocate sales tax dollars to various capital projects throughout the city to benefit residents and the community. Most recently, the city has allocated those dollars to fund improvements to our city parks, such as playground replacement. And notably, the City Commission has also allocated $2.1 million of excess sales tax dollars toward a ball field improvement program that I've explained on this video series in the past. So, as I mentioned, the 1 cent sales tax will be coming up for renewal in November. The sales tax is up for renewal every 5 years, and so we will be opening a process to have the community provide input on the current 1 cent sales tax and solicit input on potential changes that the community may want to consider. These may include things like changing the allocation amounts within the current formula, or even changing the duration of the sales tax, or even allocating sales tax to new functions that are not listed in the current 1 cent sales tax. So the city is currently preparing a survey that will be made available very shortly for the community to provide input on the 1 cent sales tax. Now, what's going to happen with the input? Well, the City Commission appoints a sales tax committee every 5 years to look at the existing sales tax and to recommend ballot language for the upcoming election. The survey data will then be shared with this committee, and they will use that data as well as various community input methods to deliberate a recommended ballot language question to go to the City Commission for approval. The City Commission will then take that information and they will make a decision on what ballot language will be placed on the general election ballot in November. So it's kind of a lengthy process, but the intent of this is to provide an opportunity for the public to voice their input and feedback in terms of the existing 1 cent sales tax. Now, one of the questions I often get is, what is the plan for the municipal pool? This is going to be another opportunity for the community to provide feedback on the survey. Right now, the city does not have a finance mechanism to fund improvements to the municipal pool. But one opportunity exists where the city could levy a special sales tax to fund improvements to the municipal pool. State statute allows cities throughout the state to levy a special sales tax, which is special in the fact that it can only be used on a specific project for example, a municipal pool, or other specific project that is specified in the ballot language. Secondarily, a special sales tax is capped in the amount of years that it can be on the books. So a special sales tax cannot exceed 10 years, although it can be sunset earlier if the specific project is paid for in advance of the 10-year cycle. So one of the questions on the survey will be, would you support a sales tax for a municipal pool? And under what conditions would you do so? The intent of this question is to ascertain the public's support for a potential sales tax increase for a specific project. Now, to be clear, that's not to suggest that the city will move forward with the sales tax, but we definitely want to get feedback with respect to that before we propose a special sales tax. So it's a great opportunity for the public to provide us input directly on these matters and other matters related to the sales tax. So be on the lookout for that. Your feedback is very important, and again, will be provided to the committee and ultimately to the commission so that we can provide the sales tax ballot question that best meets the needs of the community moving forward. So thank you for watching this episode of Things to Know. We encourage you to share this with as many of your friends that you can think of, because it's very important for people to understand how our 1 cent sales tax works, and also the opportunity for public feedback with respect to continuing it. Well, that's all I got for Things to Know this week. Everyone have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.